Battlecast Primetime. More Kane! Millions of CNC fans get their prayers answered as the Dark Messiah returns for another installment. Plus, Kane's challenge returns to Battlecast Primetime. Watch CNC League champ Sean Teeter throw down against World Cyber Games medalist and Kane's leading general, Dackle. Will Dackle hold his ground and become a member of Kane's inner circle, or will he become another sect? Actor Joe Kugan is in studio to kick it all off. See what he's been up to since his quest for global domination. Battlecast Primetime starts now! You're logged in to Battlecast Primetime. Sitting next to this guy, I'm David Silverman. I'm sorry, Raj, I can't give you a formal introduction because Kane's coming today. And well, we all know you're a Scrin supporter. I gotta bring my A game now. Kane's always on the lookout for a worthy right-hand man. Trisha Helfer, Natasha Henstridge. If I impress him, I could be next.
Whatever. If you're still trying to parlay your way into the Kane Wrath FMVs, I got some bad news for you, buddy. The game's already out. That's right. I've played it, and let's just say a Visceroid has more in common with these two fine young ladies than you do.
Ouch. Even the Black Hand could learn a thing or two from a burn like that. I'll just have to hold out for my spot in the Red Alert 3 cinematics. Fire Shakirovs! Yeah?
No. Kane's Wrath is on store shelves. Pick up your copy now for 13 new single-player missions, including over a half hour of HD cinematics. 6 new sub-factions, dozens of new powers, upgrades, and multiplayer maps, a new global conquest mode, and of course, game-changing epic units. But you should know all of this by now. Don't miss a second of practice. You've got a ton of new strategies to break in before you can claw your way to the top of our ladders.
And besides, it's time now to bring you the latest CNC news from the front. Kane's Wrath is bringing you a new way to play Command & Conquer. Global Conquest Mode. It's like Risk on steroids. Build bases in an open world map and recruit strike forces to take on your enemies. And use the new Global Conquest support powers. You'll control a core faction and its 2 sub-factions as you work towards your unique objective. To build towers as a Scrin, control the world as GDI, or create civil unrest as the Brotherhood. Move your strike forces and upgrade your base on the world stage. Then dive into the tactical RTS you know and love to resolve your battles with the strike forces that you bring into battle. Be sure to check out the Global Conquest tutorial video on our website at www.commandandconquer.com for tips on how to get the most out of this new bonus mode exclusively for Kane's Wrath on the PC.
The World Cyber Games have officially confirmed that Kane's Wrath will be the CNC game of choice in this year's competition. With 9 factions and sub-factions to choose from, there are 45 possible matchups in a Kane's Wrath 1v1. Which sub-factions have what it takes to go all the way? What players will be commanding them? With all those new units, upgrades, and powers, it's impossible to tell. If you think you can make it to the grand finals, pick up your copy of Kane's Wrath and start strategizing. You've got a lot to learn. Check out our official site in the months to come for info on the World Cyber Games qualifiers.
Included in every purchase of Kane's Wrath is a beta key for Command & Conquer Red Alert 3. If you want to be one of the first to experience true co-op RTS, in-depth naval gameplay, and the Empire of the Rising Sun faction, register your beta key today. Access to the beta is first come, first serve within your territory, and the only way to get into the beta is to purchase Kane's Wrath or the Command & Conquer Limited Collection. Do so before September 15th and you'll be guaranteed a spot in the beta before the game ships.
Kane's Wrath will ship on the Xbox 360 this summer, and Kane's Challenge is making the jump from prime time to real time. For all of you achievement junkies out there, this exclusive new feature will let you climb through the ranks of the Brotherhood, unlocking achievements and new FMVs along the way. Choose a side and square off against all 9 factions and sub-factions one by one as you make your way to the top. But making it into Kane's inner circle is no easy task. It could be months until we see someone emerge victorious from this elite gameplay mode. Do you have what it takes to survive Kane's challenge? To find out, David's with a special guest.
Fresh off the Xbox 360 set of Kane's Challenge, we're joined once again by actor Joe Kugan.
Howdy. Hey
Joe.
guys, how's it going, kids?
Welcome back to Battlecast Primetime.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Things have changed since you were last here, huh?
Yeah, the last time you guys had it was all done in wicker, and you had the oak paneling and stuff, and yeah, it's a little more high-tech now. I like it, looking good.
Raising the notch a little bit.
Took out the throw pillows, though, which I kind of liked, between takes so I could take a nap back there. But this is nice, too.
So you'll be happy to know a recent website, doubleviking.com, actually posted a report of the 15 most badass bald guys of all time. You should be thrilled to know that Kane actually came up as number 3, beating the likes of Lex Luthor, John McClane, Riddick, and Vic Mackey.
Lex Luthor?
Lex Luthor came in as number 6.
Now, look, okay, that's very flattering. Thank you, doubleviking.com thing. But Lex Luthor, seriously, Lex Luthor is the biggest badass bald guy of all time.
Well, you did lose to Yul Brynner.
And I can understand. Who's number 1?
He was the guy from Hitman.
Oh, the guy from Hitman. I don't know who that is. But Yul Brynner, okay, that one I get. But seriously, Lex Luthor, okay, that's really that's really flattering. I'm pretty happy about that. But seriously, Lex Luthor? I don't know. Lex Luthor, that's a tough beat.
Joe, you're huge with the fans.
Yeah, I'm huge in Germany.
Huge in Germany. And speaking of which, you actually went to Germany for the first time, or the Games Convention rather, in Germany for the first time this last summer. Yeah. What was that like?
Well, I went to Leipzig for the Games Convention, like you said, and I thought when it was pitched to me, we're going to go to the Games Convention in Leipzig, and I really was under the impression that it was going to be very small, kind of. I'd go in, 10,000 people, and I'd say hello and wave, and I walk into this building in Leipzig, and there are 60, 70, 80,000. How many people showed up?
200,000 people. 200,000
people, and it was remarkable. It was a great experience. I had a great time.
Now, you were here today to film a couple different things. You did the Xbox 360 Kane's Challenge cinematics. You actually did the Battlecast Primetime Kane's Challenge. You want to give anyone a little insight in terms of, what kind of things went on today?
Well, yeah, I've told you this off camera before, and I'll make it public now and tell everybody. I really enjoy the whole Battlecast, the whole concept of Battlecast. I just think it's great. I love this. I think it's a great idea. I've watched every single one. I've seen them all. I love the idea of, pitting two of the community guys against each other, having them fight their way up through the ladders to get to the point where their games are being analyzed by designers and being commentated upon. I just think it's fantastic. I love it. So today we did some of the. There's been a long climb. Dackle has been just crushing the competition and rising so quickly up the ladder. So we did some shout outs there and a setup for the next couple of battles. It was a lot of fun.
Nice. Joe Kugan, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Dave. I always have a good time. Anytime. I sure appreciate it. It's good fun.
Anything you want to say to the fans real quick?
I do. I want a quick hail out to Jeffrey, who handles a fan page on MySpace. He's doing a great job, Jeffrey, and I really appreciate it. If you guys haven't seen his fan site on MySpace, check it out. And that reminds me, Aaron Kaufman has a fan page on MySpace, doesn't he, Dave?
He does.
Yeah. Do you have a fan page on MySpace, Dave?
I don't have a fan page on MySpace.
Huh, but Aaron Kaufman has a fan page on MySpace.
He does.
Huh, you don't, though?
No.
Huh, that's weird, because Aaron does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, APOC, they call him.
APOC, yeah. But you know what, Joe? If you're ever on the lookout, if Kane, things don't work out with, Natasha or whatever, and you're on the lookout for a new right-hand man, maybe, I could be that person. Because, I'm pretty accustomed to ordering around the lesser guys. And I even brought a copy of my resume. Look, it says here, right here, I read the show open to Battlecast Primetime.
Do you? Yeah, but you don't have a fan page on MySpace.
Yeah, that's technicality.
Aaron Kaufman has a fan page on MySpace. Lesser guys, I don't know. Raj, has been, pretty good to me. Now that I think about it, Raj, I think, you and I, over the last couple of years, I think we might have just gotten off on the wrong foot. I mean, you got that tattoo of me on the back of your neck, but I'm still very flattered. Maybe you might want to think about joining the Brotherhood.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious? I mean, this is a huge commitment. You're asking me to trade in my foundries.
You know what? Actually, you guys, if you would just fight to the death for my amusement, I think that'd be enough. That'd make me happy.
Oh, it's on.
Hell yes!
Well, he's got weight on you, Raj, but I think you got reach and meanness on him. Trick with David, go to the body.
Joe Kugan, always a pleasure.
This was fun, Dave.
Thanks for coming on the show. And hey, congratulations on CNC being in the Guinness Book of World Records and you being featured as the longest running actor.
That was cool, guys. Pick up the Gamers edition of the Guinness Book of World Records, just out in print, brand new, first time. CNC is prominently featured. It was very cool. It was an honor.
Yeah, thanks again, Joe. And I will destroy you, Raj. But first, we got more important things to do. It's time for the last Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars edition of the Battlecast 5. Hataki Nod versus Latex Scrin on Pipeline Problem. Latex kicks it off with a standard Crane Refinery creep to the blue field, while Hataki calls in shadow teams via the support power and sells off his shrine. Latex sees them coming a mile away and sells off his crane just in the nick of time. The Shadows, not wanting to be left empty-handed, manage to take out a few simple buildings just for good measure. Predators and Scorpions face off, but Hataki's avatar flank breaks through to trigger in an all-out offensive. Latex, seeing an undefended base, takes the gloves off and charges in full speed ahead! Who will raise the enemy's base first? We will never know. Both players sneak out their MTVs and swap sides. It's topsy-turvy day. With little to no Tiberium left, it comes down to micromanagement. Latex sends in his Predators and pulls off a squeaky clean win.
4. A GDI mirror between Instinct and Kucan on Tournament Tower. And when I say mirror, I mean mirror. Both players sell a power plant to get a quick infantry squad and race to the tower. But Instinct gets there a second early. Ha ha! Always go with your instinct, I guess. They both grab a tip spike, load some engineers into APCs, and both target refineries, which are sold off just in time, killing the engineers. Continuing to mirror each other, they both build up Predators. Kucan manages to reclaim the tower and takes over an expansion field. Instinct pushes on, but foxholes and missile troops send him packing. Kucan counters with an APC engineer rush, forcing Instinct to sell off both the tech center and command post. The siege continues, and both players are down to just a few structures, but Instinct regroups at the southern tip spike, rebuilding his command post and an airfield. An Orca strike wipes out Kucan's original base, but Kucan has a single barrack still standing all the way across the map. Instinct's out of time. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the greatest of them all? Well, it appears to be Kucan. 3.
Hitachi Scrin and Face Me GDI versus Euro Ace GDI and Hi-Bye Scrin on Backwater Brawl. All 4 players go for a fast War Factory build order, immediately fighting over the garrisons, foxholes, tip spikes, and turrets. It's push and pull, while Hitachi techs up to a nerve center. Hitachi creeps into enemy territory by building fast and cheap gravity stabilizers and a lightning spike before he deploys the mothership. He fires on his own buildings, using the creep to chain the catalyst into Euro Ace's base. Gasabin, take note of that for next month. I call it the suicide splash. Euro has an ace up his sleeve though, and he drops a barracks in his ally's base before kissing his Conyard. Goodbye! Euro surrenders, but not without giving Hi-Bye access to missile squads. Despite having a base half the size of his 2 opponents and against devastating odds, Hi-Bye readies himself to go all 15 rounds. He charges in with his newly acquired missile troops for the win. Hello and goodbye. Looks like Eurostar surrendering actually won his team the game.
2. An 8-player free-for-all between, well, a bunch of people on the Roctagon. Alright, I'll give you all your shout-outs. It's Donkey versus Nine Inch Nails versus Liang Hu versus Mikey Parkster versus Wimble Grimp versus Gustav versus Maestro versus Merlia. And all players are playing random. Oh, the madness! Nine Inch Nails quickly expands to the center but is forced out of there later when Merilia's and Gusta's armies collide. Nails then builds a massive fleet of Firehawks back at his base. Mikey Parkster Nod in the west is slowed down greatly in the beginning of the match, resulting in him losing his original base and being left in the center like a naughty schoolboy, surrounded by enemies that soon start massive attacks. Liang plays in the east as GDI, immediately expanding to the center of the map and pushing Maestro out. Out of my house, boy! He even spreads all the way to Donkey. Donkey starts south as a second Scrin competitor. He builds up a presence in the center but is pressured by a total of 3 players simultaneously and from all sides. This does not look good. Maestro takes the southeastern part of the map and plays his Nod. His first and second attempt to expand to the center fail, and he decides to turtle with the Temple of Nod while harassing everyone in sight with the stealth tanks. Let's see if that pays off. Gusta techs quickly while turtling in his base, keeping himself alive and sending a deadly mothership to the battlefield. Finally, Wimblegrimp in the west ignores what's going on at the center, silently teching in his own base and then going for the starting areas of his opponents. Gusta's mothership fires, wiping out almost all of the center field structures. The remnant of anyone who abandoned their main base are quickly mopped up. Wimblegrimp is spread thin between the western fields, and Gusta's on the defensive due to 9 Inch Nails' Firehawks. Maestral knows a bully when he sees one, so he nukes 9 Inch Nails and knocks him out. Maestral's base is too strong. He turtles up for 7 more minutes, harassing with stealth tanks before nuking Wimblegrimp out of the match too. Gusta's gone MIA. Hey buddy, you can't just fly that drone ship off the map and run away. Avatars, stealth tanks, and laser venom spell victory for Maestral. 1.
A spectacular screen mirror between Alternative and Diablo on Barstow Badlands. Alternative goes for a fast warp sphere build order. Diablo starts a little bit more aggressively, and he builds a foundry. Yes, Raj, a foundry. It allows him to move his drone platform to the center of the map, cutting Alternative off at the Tiberium Spike while building up a base at the northern part of the valley. 2 birds, 1 stone. Diablo keeps his opponent from expanding to the center effectively, but Alternative still has a trick up his sleeve, and he manages to free himself from this sticky situation with one of the coolest strategies I've ever seen. Seriously, Greg, take note. Alternative launches a mothership and fires on a squad of his own disintegrators in the comfort of his own base. Then, before the catalyst detonates on his base, Alternative teleports the disintegrators into his enemy's base via a mastermind, thus sending the catalyst into Diablo's base. With only scraps left, Alternative's lone heroic tripod is there to take out the trash. Victory, Alternative! This strategy was so brilliant, let's take another look and break it down in a mini special edition of Command School Honors. First, Alternative teched up to a nerve center and deployed a mothership. He had a few squads of his own disintegrators waiting in an empty corner of his base. He then flew the mothership over and snuck in his mastermind into his opponent's base undetected. Here's the tough part. He fires the mothership on his own disintegrators, then uses the mastermind's teleport ability to send those disintegrators over to his enemy's base. Now remember, this has to happen in the 2-second window between the mothership firing and the units detonating. If performed successfully, the units will detonate in the enemy's base, allowing the catalyst to spread and wipe out everything. I call this tactic Alternative's Teleporting Time Bomb. For more killer strategies like this, be sure to check out the real Command School on the 2nd Friday of every month. And Alternative, if you have more killer strategies like this, be sure to send them to commandschool@ea.com.
0.
And you thought we weren't going to show you a Kane's Wrath match. It's Ima Zocom versus Rally Champ Steel Talons on Tournament Tower. Rally gets to the tower and they both grab spikes. Both players get a War Factory fast, and Rally takes out a Harvester with his Titans. Ima goes defensive, teching the Hammerheads and Zone Raiders. He loads them up and cuts the power on Rally, and takes out the old tech center for good measure. But Rally's already built his Reclamator hub, and yes, that's right, he gets the Marv out first. Rally puts 4 rocket troopers in his Marv and takes out the passing Harvesters and Hammerheads. Before it reaches Ima's base, the Zocom Marv emerges. Ima's going with Zone Raiders and Engineers, letting the Marv heal up slowly on the go. Ima's got home field advantage, dropping Sonic Emitters and staying near his Reclamator hub to keep his Marv healed up. Rally's Marv goes down, but he's got plenty of cash, so he unveils Marv Numero Dos. This time he's escorting it with Railgun Mammoths and Titans, and if that's not enough, he's even used the Railgun Accelerator ability to boost their damage. Ima's not sweating it though. He's researched EMP grenades, and a single grenade squad powers down the Marv and the Mammoths time after time after time. He even throws in an Orca Strike, but the Marv escapes and heals up. The Marv Zocom takes out the few lingering Mammoths and Harvesters to become heroic. That's right, kids. The Marv has killed 15,000 credits worth of units. Oh, the humanity! Check out that attack rate, that movement speed, and how fast it heals itself at heroic veterancy. Getting a heroic Marv is no easy task, but Ima's done it. Seeing that beast roll into his base, Rally knows he's beat and concedes the match. Good game. And there's your 6 for this month.
The 5, brought to you by Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath. Fight through over 3 decades of CNC lore and unleash Kane's Wrath. In stores now on the PC and this summer on the Xbox 360.
Man, all of that CNC action has my blood boiling. I can't believe I'm going to be Kane's right-hand man.
You don't have what it takes. If we're going to do this right, Raj, we need to set up some parameters. We can't be expected to throw down on a moment's notice. Oh no. This needs to be planned out to the T. After all, becoming Kane's right-hand man is going to be the greatest moment of my life.
Of your life? Oh, it's on. You want a formal challenge? Well, I'll deliver. Just you wait.
When we return, APOC brings you the latest community news in his corner. And it's an exciting conclusion of Kane's challenge. Which player will join me in the ranks of Brotherhood? All this and more when Battlecast Primetime continues on Command & Conquer TV.
It is time you saw the face of the future.
Peace through power.
Welcome back to Battlecast Primetime. I'm Raj Joshi, soon to be the Tiberian Prophet's right-hand man.
Not if I have anything to do with it.
Back to my close-up. Kane's Wrath is out, and you know all about the new sub-factions, upgrades, and powers.
We've also been saving Aaron APOC Kaufman, and it's time now to let him loose with all the news by the fans for the fans in APOC's Community Corner.
What's up, all you Command & Conquerors?
Kane's Wrath has been unleashed!
I mean, released. The sinister bald man is back, and so is his full cybernetic mask. I hear the ladies love it. And don't forget, Commander, Kane's Wrath is your all access to the Red Alert 3 beta test. If you already haven't hit up our beta registration page, what are you waiting for? It's noted on that secret little insert in your copy of Kane's Wrath. Be sure not to give that to anybody else. And if you haven't already, jump online with Kane's Wrath and be sure to check out our new tournament multiplayer maps. You 1v1 fanatics. You're gonna love the tournament arena replacement, Tournament Decision. Then hit our message boards and leave your feedback. We're also very interested to hear your comments on the balance of the 6 new sub-factions. Speaking of tournaments, our next ladder season is slated to begin late in April, and ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be exclusive to Kane's Wrath. Reigning ladder Season 1 champ Sean Teeter, he's already practicing, so you better start now. If you prefer retro gaming, dust off that copy of Red Alert 2, because comrade, we have an official EA-sponsored Red Alert 2 ladder tournament coming next month. For more details on this exciting 2-month-long ladder season, head over to www.strike-team.net or our official site at redalert3.com. Anxiously awaiting more Red Alert 3 news? Well, then let us help you create the ultimate Red Alert 3 fan site. Fan site leaders get exclusive early access to the game before anyone else. We'll be deploying our official Red Alert 3 fan site kit at redalert3.com in the near future, but until then, why don't you drop your friend APOC a line, and I'll make sure you're up to date when the time comes. You can reach me at my email address at apoc@ea.com, and don't forget, leave all your comments and suggestions as well. I'm always looking to improve APOC's Corner. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, every day is Community Day.
The Kane's Wrath wait is over, but the Red Alert 3 wait has just begun. We gave you a taste last month with Red Thursday, and now it's time for you to get your questions answered in the RA3 edition of Ask a Developer.
Thanks guys, I'm Amir, a level designer on Command & Conquer Red Alert 3, and I'm excited to finally be able to answer your questions about the newest edition of Command & Conquer Red Alert 3. So now, our first question comes from our very own product manager, David Silverman, who asked last episode, will Tanya make a comeback? I can tell you, yes, David, Tanya will make a comeback, as an actress in the full motion video cutscenes, and as a playable unit for the Allied faction with a unique secondary ability. Our next question comes from Arvelino, who asks, in Red Alert 3, will the Empire of the Rising Sun get a commando unit similar to the Allies' Tanya? Well, Arvelino, the Japanese will have a commando unit, but unfortunately we can't tell you what it will do right now or what it will be, but we will tell you in a future episode. The next question comes from Angry Meatball. He asks, will Red Alert 3 offer the same level of competitive online gaming as CNC 3? So Red Alert 3 is going to be just as fiercely competitive as Command & Conquer 3. We're going to have the same 1v1 play and tournament modes you've come to expect from a fiercely competitive environment. In fact, competitive play is the main reason that we have our beta program in conjunction with Kane's Wrath, so we can collect as much community feedback as possible so the game can become as balanced as possible before ship. So our next question comes from Johnny G, who asks, will CNC TV continue to broadcast for Kane's Wrath, and if so, will it be exclusive to it, or will it include things on Tiberium Wars and Red Alert 3? Absolutely. Command & Conquer TV will remain your home for all things Command & Conquer. You can always see the best fan matches, whether they're from Kane's Wrath, Tiberium Wars, Red Alert 3, whatever. We're always going to have it here for you. Command & Conquer TV is your source for all things Command & Conquer, and it always will be. That won't change. Our final question comes from SamKiller42, who asks, what sort of man-hours does it take to develop one unit from concept to a working unit? So it really depends on the unit. Each unit has sort of a different level of complexity, but every unit is part design, part engineering, part audio, part art, part animation. And in fact, we hope to profile the creation of a unit in an upcoming Command & Conquer TV episode. Well, that's all for now. Keep those great questions coming on the Command & Conquer TV forum at our official website, www.commandandconquer.com. I'm Amir Rao. Back to you guys.
Keep your questions coming for Amir, and he'll answer as many as he can. Coming up, we'll bring you some heated Battlecast action in our biggest main event yet.
We've only had one before this.
So, and this one's bigger. As I was saying, coming up in our main event, we've got the fiery conclusion to our very own Kane's challenge. Relativity takes on Kane's proven son, Dackle, in the final fight of the challenge. We'll bring you all the action when Battlecast Primetime continues on Command & Conquer TV.
Temple Prime lost. Kane dead. How can this be?
The great deceiver has been defeated!
Our enemies believe we have been defeated, and that I am no longer among the living. They are gravely mistaken.
Tonight, on the main event, you've seen Dackle smash all opponents on his way to be Kane's chosen son. He has one rival left, and it's his toughest one yet. Can CNC League champ Relativity unseat Dackle? This is the main event.
Welcome to the main event. This is the last round of Kane's challenge, and it's sure to be a knockout. We've seen Dackle keep his opponents down and hold his position throughout all his matches. Can Relativity unseat him? We'll find out soon enough. But after tonight's carnage is over, the main event will continue to bring you high-stakes matchups month after month.
That's right. Starting now, we're letting you pick the matches in the main event. Head on over to our official forums and click the new Command & Conquer TV section. Issue a challenge yourself or tell us what players you want to have throw down and why. Be sure to give us all the juicy gossip on your picks. If both of the players accept your challenge and the community rallies around it, we'll organize the match.
And even if you don't make it into the main event, play along by voicing your opinions on the message boards. We'll be choosing which players to feature during the first week of every month based on your feedback. We'll profile the selected players and through the eyes, read the challenge and responses on the air, and share with the entire community why these two have a bone to pick.
Be creative with your challenges. You can challenge another player, a member of the dev team, a forum moderator, the casting crew of CNC TV. The possibilities are endless. We might even choose a free-for-all or team match. Video challenges will get bonus points too. Just paste a YouTube link into your post. Well, it looks like you get the idea, because we already have our first submission.
How is that possible?
I have no idea. Let's take a look and find out. Oh, and it's a video clip too. A good man. Hey, Dave. Oh, I'm sorry, David. Every episode, you read the show open like you're some kind of god. God. Then you lord your honorary non-membership over everyone. Show after stinking show. And I haven't even gotten to do an interview yet. All that stops now. I've had enough, David S. Silverman, if that is your real name. It's time to lay it all on the line, Cajun style. You, me, you, me, you. The Black's Big Battle. 2 MCVs enter, 1 MCV leaves. Are you man enough to take my challenge? Huh? Josie out. What? I am the Tiger, my man. Dangerous. Chump.
I accept! Bring it on! I'm off the floor with you, Joshi, and I will become Kane's right-hand man! Well, I guess we have our challenge already set for next episode.
Well, I'll deal with you later, David. But now let's get back to the challenge at hand. You know Relativity and Dackle, and you know Greg Black and Jason Bender. So let's get this party started.
Come on, Raj, even you know that we can't start the main event without getting at least a little bit more dirt on our players.
Hey, look, I'm just in a hurry to get to our battle, okay? But I guess, before we get started, let's get an in-depth look at Relativity and Dackle in Through the Eyes. Pascal Dackle Pfefferly has survived 3 rounds of Kane's challenge, defeating #1 ladder seed after #1 ladder seed. Today he's logged in from Germany to face the ladder tournament champ.
Sean Relativity Teeter is making his 3rd Battlecast Primetime appearance, direct from San Diego, California. Will Sean win his last Tiberium Wars tournament before the expansion?
And now 2 guys that need no introduction, Greg Black and Jason Bender. Welcome.
Hi guys.
It's great to be back.
Greg, you know what's got to happen before we get to the match, so break down the battlefield for us in your Battleground Reconnaissance.
Pipeline Problems is a ranked 1v1 map set in Egypt. Players start out near a green field just out of range of a protected blue field. Nearby is a tip spike and a mutant hovel. Midfield on the west, there's an EMP and 2 capturable turrets on a protected cliff. To the east, there are 2 more green fields and an expansion point that gives ground control when captured. There are 3 main attack routes on this map, straight down the middle, behind the cliff to the blue field, and through the expansion points. Like all tournament maps, the starting areas are symmetrical.
And now, the most important choice of our lives, it's time for the pick of the match. Greg, Jason, what say you?
You know, Dackle's my boy, but I bet against Relativity last time, and it did not pay off for me, so I think I'm going to have to bet for Relativity this time.
It did pay off for me, so I'm sticking with it. Relativity.
Relativity all the way.
Raj Joshi, it's time for you to put what little reputation you have on the line. Who's going to win?
I gotta say, the biggest CNC fanatics are definitely in Germany. Dackle, I'm pulling for you.
And I will go with San Diego native Sean Teeter. Sean, you haven't failed me in the past, and you will win this match, mark my words. Well, there it is. All of our picks are set. And finally, to make this challenge official, Kane himself is here to get the tanks a-rolling.
Brother Dackle, my most trusted general. Month after month you have defended the Brotherhood from all who might challenge it. Our enemies cower in fear at the sound of your name. Except one. One arrogant fool refuses to kneel before you. The champion of the CNC League tournament, Relativity. He is your most cunning opponent yet, and he will stop at nothing to destroy you. Dackle, you must prove once and for all that you are worthy to sit at my side and command my armies. Defeat Relativity and join the ranks of my inner circle. Usher in a new day for Nod. Good luck, my son. This is your final challenge. Do not fail me.
Kane has issued the challenge for these top-tier players. We've seen them win countless times, and now is their chance to prove their worth. Gentlemen, let the challenge begin. Tonight's match is between CNC League champion Relativity and undefeated Kane's challenge contender Dackle on Pipeline Problems.
Here we are on Pipeline Problems. We've got Relativity in the north playing as GDI, and down south we've got Dackle also playing as GDI. We're going to see a GDI mirror here, Jason. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, typically it's Predator versus Predator, or Predator versus Rocket Guy if someone's thinking. That's the kind of thing you normally see, but since these players are the best of the best, we should see something a little more interesting, I hope.
Yeah. Well, what we are seeing is the classic Pipeline Problem-based creep to all the Tiberium fields strategy. That's going to be a lot of money, and they don't really seem to be attacking each other yet.
No, they're scouting with riflemen. So we see a war factory here, and he's all teched up. You'd expect to see tanks, but rolling out of that war factory are 2 more MCVs for a total of 3 Conyards.
What are you doing with 3 Conyards? You know they don't have weapons.
Well, I mean, you could move those MCVs up and try and deploy near your enemy's base. That's possible. But he's not going to have time to do that because Relativity's coming down with 1,000,000 rockets.
Dackel, he sees the rocket guys come in and he's just popping up airfields, but not an Orca in sight. I think he's using these things as a meat shield for the sonic emitters, and look at this. Yeah, they're just taking it one after another.
It's an unorthodox strategy. It's not really for everyone, but if you happen to have 3 Conyards and a crane and a ton of money and a bunch of dudes coming into your base, it's a good option.
Yeah, it's good, like, cost to surface area ratio, those airfields. Relativity's making some progress, but those sonic emitters are taking a toll on his forces, and wow, just tons and tons of rocket guys.
And in the end, it does pay off.
And look at this on the other side of Dackel's base. We've got a Relativity APC engineer rush, grabs one of his Conyards, forces Dackel to pack up the other one.
Despite all of that Conyard action, it looks like the infantry rush is over. The tide has been rolled back. There are 3 sonic emitters. There's 1 airfield remaining. No aircraft on it. But the infantry have retreated.
Yeah, never have so many owed so much to so few airfields. And here we go. Look at this. Turnabout being fair play. Dackel now pushing up into Relativity's base with a ton of infantry. But Dackel brought some snipers, and that's really going to help him in the inf war.
That's true. We can see that he had planned on teching up. I imagine he had meant to use vehicles, but he is thinking high-tech units. He's bringing in snipers, and they're doing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
However, it's only taken 1 sonic emitter to knock those guys out.
Yeah, Dackel just did not have the numbers.
So it looks like Dackel has plenty of Conyards and plenty of cash, so he's going to sell off some of that excess to try and get a little bit more of an infantry edge, but it's ill-timed because he lost his other Conyard and his crane right after that, leaving him with no build queues. He used to have 4, now he's down to none.
I think this is just the Hail Mary pass. He's going to pump all that money he just got from selling those buildings into infantry.
It's a strong initial attack. He leads it with the EMP, follows it up with infantry, but it's just not quite enough to get into that base, which means he's going to end up antlining infantry to a staging ground. It's a bad sign when you don't have anything but antlined infantry.
Yeah, and anything but rocket guys. I mean, you know, they're good, but they're not that good. So here we are 20 minutes into this match, and Dackel just keeps attacking with his infantry. He leads with that EMP to take down those base defenses, and this keeps happening every 3 minutes. Relativity is just sitting back and absorbing this damage. I wonder why he's not pumping out some Juggernauts or Predator tanks to go finish them off.
Well, rather than building too much in the way of Juggernauts and tanks and whatnot, it looks like he's decided to just mass just hundreds and hundreds of riflemen. They are the counter, they're cheap, and they're impressive when you line them up like that.
Yeah, this is Relativity doing his Xerxes impression. I think he's watched 300 one too many times.
Sadly, rather than holding their own at a choke point, it looks like Dackel's men are going to flank around the side and try and rush into the base. But they're taking the long way, and Relativity's taking the short way.
The 1,000,000-man army is just going into Dackel's base, leveling the entire place. Nothing is being spared. So we're pretty much seeing a classic base screwing scenario here. Dackel flanked around the side. He's up messing with Relativity's base, but Relativity's army's just so big, there's no way Dackel's going to be able to finish Relativity off before Relativity kills him.
Yeah, and Relativity's taking the straight road in. It's a shorter walk with more guys coming in, wiping out the entire base. Nothing left to build with. No airfields coming up when you don't have any Conyards.
No. And even the poor mutants in the mutant hovel go down at the hands of the Juggernauts.
And that is the end of that. The mutants are out, and so is Dackel.
Good game, Relativity.
What is this? Dackel lies defeated, drowned in his own hubris? It seems I have placed my faith in him erringly. Yes, it is time for a new leader. Sean Relativity Teeter, you have risen to the challenge and stained the battlefield with the blood of your opponent. You have proven yourself worthy to lead the Brotherhood to glory. Henceforth, you shall sit at my right hand. Welcome to my inner circle, Brother Sean. You have completed Kane's challenge.
Way to go, Sean! I knew you wouldn't let me down, and that may have the makings of a classic match. But just wait until I school Raj next episode, and then you'll see a match that truly goes down in history.
Yeah, the history of how you lose to my superior skills, and you go crying home to mommy. Like this.
Oh, that's real mature. Follow suit by issuing your own immature challenges on our message boards.
Greg, Jason, who gets our coveted play of the match?
Even though it didn't end up winning him the game, I'm going to give the play of the game to Dackel for his use of airfields and sonic emitters.
Yeah, you know, he had a ton of rocket guys in his base, he had 4 build queues, a lot of money, and no units. He pulled this really innovative strategy, built those airfields, used them as meat shields. The sonic emitters did the killing, and he was able to use them to fight back the rocket guys.
As always, thanks to Greg Black and Jason Bender, two of the coolest guys I know. Love the shirt today, Jason. Fabulous. Say, you guys, you'll throw me your picks next match, right?
Right, Dave.
Yeah, see you next time.
Knew I could count on you too. Well, that's it for Battlecast Primetime and the main event. If you'd like to comment on the show, drop us a line at bcpt@ea.com. And for Kane's sake, if you haven't picked up the expansion pack yet, what are you waiting for? It'll get you into the Red Alert 3 beta. Also, remember to Battlecast your Kane's Wrath or Tiberium Wars match for a shot to be featured here on Battlecast Primetime. And tune in next month for the fight of the century! For Raj Newby, I'm David Silverman, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
We'll see you on the battlefield. Prepare to call the ambulance, Raj. Whatever.